the scene of the rise of Willie Wallace. Finlay, the storyteller, is telling about King Edward Longshanks. Action! Greetings, stranger. Where have you been all the time again? What does it matter? So, let's go back. Yeah, I've seen you being very busy a long time, isn't it, huh? I'm sitting here all the day on my arse still waiting for you. What does it matter? Let's go back to where we were. As you know, probably, I told you about William Wallace in the previous video. So let me tell you about King Edward I or Longshanks. Yeah, you're asking yourself, who the hell is that in God's name? King Edward, or his nickname Longshanks, was the most brutal and ruthless expansionist and even a great evil himself. He was the king that wanted Scotland and of course invaded Scotland. After the death of our dear King Alexander III, Scotland turned into a crisis, my friend. You're never gonna believe it. His army invaded our country. Yeah. Now that you've heard the music, huh? Yes, it's very evil. In that same year, in 1296, King Edward Longshanks and his army invaded our country. They killed our women, raped our women, burned many Scottish villages down. It's very sad, my friends. And let me tell you this. King Edward didn't even stop there. He wanted everything, my friends. Everything that not even King Alexander could afford if he was still alive. Even our other king, John Balliol, was a puppet and was used by him. So here is how it all started. Of course, his army invaded, and there was also an evil paladin called Macheath. Macheath was responsible for many war crimes and many killings, with other knights as Johnson and Mackenzie and Chamberlain. These men were the most evil men that came into our country and were sent by King Edward as his loyal dogs. But he did not only stop there. King Edward even stole the famous Stone of Skull and declared himself King of Scotland. You gotta be kidding. You're out of your mind. Yeah. But it was not only that. I could hear the sound of screaming women and children begging for their lives as King Edward, his knights, came on heavy horses. Their hoofs were even heard in a far distance. The sound of villagers screaming for their lives as his knights killing and slaughtered them all, and even their villages were burned to ashes. Yes, my friends, but it was not only that. This is what his plans also were. Even before the Battle of Stirling Bridge, King Edward wanted Scotland in his grasp. He wanted it to be part of the great England. Yeah, my friends, my family were one of these victims. It is terrible, I know, but that's the truth, my friends. So this is where it all started. It was not even all there. He sent Paladin Macheath and the rest of his knights to kill and hunted all those who resist the so-called new King of Scotland and the English crown. And it is not only that, my friends. King Edward wanted John Balliol, and so he imprisoned him in the London Tower. After a failed battle in 1296, it was now known that William Wallace will face his enemy. And this is what his plans were.